Hi, how many of you have wanted to live your dreams, but you find yourself procrastinating or you find yourself coming up with all the reasons why you can't do that right now? For example, the children, or I don't have enough money, or I don't know the right people, I don't have the connections. Whatever reasons we come up with, if that is you, this message is for you. Because I definitely understand being in that place of not taking action on my dreams, not making that move on my dreams. And I know there are myriad of dream reasons or dream killer reasons why we don't act on our dream. Some again could be the fact that we don't have enough time in our schedule, or we're working so hard during the day and we're tired at night. But let me tell you the number one reason why people do not fulfill their dreams. The number one reason why people go to their graves with their dreams, their talents, their ability, their great ideas still stuck in them. Well, the number one way or number one reason why people end up in the grave with their talents and their gifts and their unrealized dreams is because they don't believe that it's possible for them. That's right. They don't believe that it's possible for them to live their dreams. I have worked with thousands actually at this point of clients, and on the idea of figuring out what they love to do and turning that into work that they can do every day. I've done that with hundreds and even now thousands of clients. And here are the number two reasons why most clients I've seen um, have not acted on their dreams. Number one, they don't know what their calling is. They don't know what their dream is. They don't know what their purpose is. So they haven't figured that question out yet. What should I do with my life? They haven't figured that one out. The second reason why most people don't act on their dreams is number two, they don't believe that they can actually live their dreams. They don't believe that they can make a living living their dreams. They don't believe that they can actually, take care of their families living their dreams. And so they put their dreams on the back burner. They put their dreams on the shelf and they live a life of drudgery. And so today I want to just talk to you about choosing to believe it's possible for you. Choosing to believe your dream is possible for you. And that is true because as many things, as many reasons that we can come up with, the bottom line is that we don't believe. And I know this firsthand. See, I remember going to work and it was drudgery for me. But yet I kept doing it. I kept doing the prescribed type of job. Go to corporate America, get a good job, pay your bills, and things like that. And I remember dreading my job, hating my job. And then I went to teach because, somebody said, use your gift. And God said, use your gift. And I was using my gift. But about 5 years into using my gift, I was teaching elementary school students. I started to notice that I was getting kind of frustrated at the job. To be honest with you, I outgrew the job, and I was sitting there feeling like I could do more, and I wanted to do more. But the problem was, I kept coming up with reasons why. I don't have enough money to move out. I don't have the right connections to live my dreams. I don't have anybody that could help me out here. This is not the right time. I kept coming up with all kinds of reasons, and it all came to a head. One day at the end of the semester, a parent walked up to me after semester was done. We're going away for the summer, I think, or the winter break, one of the two. And we had a conversation, and she handed me a card. And I opened up the card, sat at my desk. I looked at the card, and there's nothing in it. It was just a card saying thank you for all you've done or whatever. And I remember, I mean, as a Christian, I probably maybe shouldn't have felt this, but I felt this way. I felt this is all I get for all the work I've done, for the blood, sweat, and tears, for staying up to at late at night just to mark papers and grade these things. And this is all I get, a card. And I remember thinking to myself, it wasn't just the fact that I got cards that I was not grateful for it because I hadn't gotten cards before, but it didn't hit me this way. I think it was just I had outgrown my position and I was staying there because I was scared. I was staying there because I didn't believe my dream. I was staying there because I couldn't see outside of my boundaries. I couldn't see anything bigger or better. I was staying there because it was comfortable. I was in my comfort zone. And so I remember sitting down and I started saying to God, I started crying out to God. And this was in school, at my seat, calling out to God and saying, God, you got to help me. I mean, I can't do this anymore. I need to do something else and things like that. And at the same time, I remember I was reading, I just picked out a book that I had and I just started reading it. And I was reading, it was a book on faith. It was by some Pastor Hagen. And I was reading that. And I remember coming to the scripture in Mark chapter 11, verse 24, where it says, whatsoever you desire when you pray, believe that you receive it and you'll have it. And he highlighted the fact that you could have what you desire. And it hit me like lightning, that I could really, literally have what it is I want from God. I can really talk to my Father and say, this is what I want, and believe for it and have it. And then I started thinking about, I've known for a while that I don't want to do this job anymore, but I didn't know where I was going to. I knew where I was coming from, what I didn't want to do. And most of you are like that. Most people are like that. When I talk to people, most people know what they don't want to do. I don't want to do this job anymore. I don't like this. I don't like this manager. I don't want to do this anymore. I've outgrown this. But when you ask them, what do you want to do? What it is you want? What is it you want? Aha. That's where most people are dumbfounded. That's what most people don't take the time to answer that question. And I remember sitting there, it felt like I was stumped, because it was God speaking in my heart that said, what do you want? And I was thinking, is it up to me? I thought, you just tell me what to do. And he was like, no, what is it you want? It was a new concept for me. And I remember just thinking about it for a while. What is I want? What do I want in a job? What would make me happy in work? And I remember in that flash minute, that flash second, I had thoughts of the times I'd spoken to my students. I was teaching 10-year-olds, 5th grade. And we would talk about their calling, their future, and living their dreams and things like that. And I remember they started asking me questions about, Mr. O, what's my niche? You know, I'm thinking to myself, you're 10, you don't have a niche, you're 10, right? But that hit me like a lightning bolt. And I said, I want to do that. That's what I want to do. I want to, help people to live their dreams. I want to help people to fulfill their calling, fulfill their purpose. I want to help people figure out what it is they want to do with their lives and then help them do it. That's kind of what I said and wrote it down. And after I finished writing that down, all of a sudden I heard in my heart, career counselor, career coach. I kid you not. I have the notebook where I wrote that down. And I wrote it down, career counselor, career coach. I had never heard of these things. I didn't even know what it was. I wasn't sure what that was. And I was like, what is a career counselor? What is a career coach? What is that? And so I got on the phone with my wife, because I didn't have a computer that had access to internet at the time. I got on my phone with my wife and I said, babe, do you know what a career counselor, career coach is? She's like, no, but let's Google it. And so she Googled it, and she found out what it was, and she described what it is they did. And I said to her, yes, that's it. That's what I want. That's the career I want. And I was like, whoa, I'd like to do that. I'd like to do that. But I was about 30-something years old. I'd been working this job for 5 years. I was barely paying my bills. And to think that I would actually make money doing this thing that I say I love, and how much are they paying? She told me, and I was like, well, okay, yeah, we can do that. And to actually take the courage to say, as a middle-ager, 30-something years old, I'm going to make the leap. I'm going to enroll, because I asked her, what do you have to do to become that? You have to go to school. Oh my God, I got to go back to school. I have to go back and pass the GED. I have to go to school. I have to invest in that and then become it. It was like, oh my God, it was tough. But you know what? I chose to believe. I am so glad I chose to believe that it was possible for me. I chose to believe that's possible for me, because from my background, I shouldn't have believed that. But for some reason, I believed that, yes, it was possible for me to actually live this dream. And I invested in school, went to school. I was teacher by day and I was student by night. But guess what? I graduated. And for the first I think it was 6 or 7 months, I couldn't find any job. I was living off school loans. And I was like, oh, what is going on? But I chose to believe. I had to leave the job I was doing because I had to take an internship as part of the program. But I chose to believe. Was it hard? Yes. Were there times of doubting? Absolutely. But I chose to believe. And finally, I was able to become a career counselor, certified career coach. And coach up to this date, I've coached over 1,400 people on how to figure this thing out for themselves. And I don't say that to impress you. I say that to impress upon you to use your gift, because now I am on another level where I'm going full time out to do my own thing totally. And I have a feeling in my heart that there's bigger and bigger things on a grander scale that God wants me to do. But guess what? I battle with that thing again of fear, of not believing, of not showing, not knowing if this was possible for me at this point. And so I say to you who are listening to me right now, I say to you that I know that there's some dreams and there's some desires and there's some things that you'd like to do in your life. And for some of us, we already know what our calling is. We know what our dreams are. We know what our purpose is. But we don't believe that it's possible for us. And so we come up with all these other reasons why. It was, I don't have time for it. I don't have the right connections. No, I don't have the money. I don't know the people. Guess what? It all boils down to this. You don't believe. And so my challenge to you today is to choose to believe in your dream. That's right. Choose to believe in the fact that your dream is possible for you. What do you mean, Sam? Well, believing is a choice. It's not something that just happens to you. You have to literally choose to believe. Remember the story of Jesus in the Bible and Thomas? Thomas was told by the other disciples that Jesus had risen from the dead, but he didn't believe. He said to them, hey, unless I touch, you see the nails in his hand and touch the wounds in his side, I will not believe. Thomas exercised his will. He chose not to believe. Even though what the disciples were saying to him was true, he chose not to believe. And you know what Jesus did? He showed up. And when he showed up, he said, hey, Thomas, touch my hands. Thomas, touch my side. And he did. And he said, oh, Lord, my God, and worshiped. And you know what? Jesus said, because you touched me, that's why you believed. But blessed are those who don't see me, but yet choose to believe. And so I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a dream, if you have a purpose, if you have a calling that you know that you're supposed to do, number one, the one and only thing to get you from where you are to where you need to be is that you choose to believe. Remember when the Israelites were in the wilderness, the only thing that stopped them from getting into their promised land was not the fact that they didn't have the opportunity, was not the fact that the people in the promised land were too strong. You know what stopped them? Even though it was God's dream for them, even though it was their dream for themselves, what stopped them was the fact that they did not believe. They chose to believe in what they saw rather than in what he said. And because they did that, they forfeited their dream. They went to their graves not living their dreams. And I say to you, that cannot be your destiny. That cannot be your choice. And I exhort you to choose to believe in the dream that God has given you, in the calling that he's given you, in the purpose that he's given you. You must choose to believe. And you don't have to believe in your own ability. That's the beauty. See, as a Christian, as a believer, you don't have to believe in your own ability. You can't do it in your own. Let me say this to you. If God has called you to do something, you rest be sure you cannot accomplish that goal on your own. If you're accomplishing a dream by yourself and you haven't needed God for it, that's not God's purpose for your life. Whatever God demands for you, he will require that you depend on him for when it comes to purpose and calling. That's how you know. When it's too big for you to do it, you know that's God's calling for you. When it's too big for you that you have to rely on him because his glory he will not share with no man, then you know that's your calling. So I'm saying to you, what is that big thing that you're about to venture out on? Know this, you don't have to do this in your own strength. He said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. He said, greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. He says, I can do all things through Christ who strengtheneth me. He says, fear not, I am with you. Be not dismayed. I'm the Lord your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my mighty hand of righteousness. So, ladies and gentlemen, we don't have to do it the way the world does. You don't have to rely on your ability, on your strength, on your willpower. You can go with God and you can make this happen. And all God requires to you, just like he said to Jairus, only believe. And if you take the step today to start to say to yourself, I'm going to believe in my dream. I had to do that this morning. I sat there and God started showing me my dream of my future, of what it was looking like. And I'm here at a job, and I'm doing this thing right now, but then I have a dream that I'd like to do. And, you know, I had to say to myself in front of God, Lord, I choose to believe. I choose to believe in your word. I choose to believe in your dream for me. I choose to believe in your calling. I choose to go the way of God. And ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have to do that today to take you to the next level, to make that next leap, to take that next step, to pursue that dream that you've been called to do. You're going to have to take it up a notch. And when you do that, when you choose to believe and you choose to start taking the steps necessary, then you'll see God kick in. You'll see God come alongside you, and you'll be able to say, with God, all things are possible. And I say to you, your dreams are possible. I don't care what it is God has called you to do. Ladies and gentlemen, your dream is possible if you only believe. So I say to you, live your dreams, pursue your purpose, and make the impact you were born to make starting today. Thank you.